From MCBN Broadcast Center, you're all Filipino radio. PinoyRadio.com. PinoyRadio.com. This year, we'll never get short of surprises. In fact, we step up the game. Hashtag Level Up Goals. The finest hits, outstanding shows, remarkable events. Miracanza Broadcasting Network Incorporated. This is PinoyRadio.com. Pinoy Radio. Love it! Ito po ang inyong palatuntunang Radyo Pilipino, ang Talakayan. Ang tinig ng Pilipino sa Toronto na sumasa inyo tuwing Sabado alas 11:30 ng umaga hanggang alas 12:30 ng tanghali. Dito sa himpilan ng Pinoy Radio. Layunin ng programang ito na makapagbigay ng kasiyahan at makapagdulot ng kaalaman, hatid ng paliwanagan at pagbatikos sa mga issue at problemang dumarating sa ating pang-araw-araw na buhay dito sa Canada. Kapayapaan, katotohanan at kalutasan ng mga suliranin ang aming hangad na ibigay sa inyo. At ngayon, ikinagagalak ng Pinoy Radio na ihatid sa inyo ang Talakayan. Radyo Pilipino, ang Talakayan.
Nakikinig po kayo sa Talakayan, ang tinig ng Pilipino sa Toronto.
PinoyRadio.com. Welcome to Dr. V. Santiago and Associates Family Dentistry. Complete dental care, general and specialty dentistry with trusted team of doctors, surgeon, periodontists, and dental hygienists. Now with 2 locations to serve you in the Greater Toronto area. Main branch at Toronto office, Rosedale Medical Clinic, 600 Sherbourne Street, Suite 307, Toronto. And its new office and clinic at Mississauga Marketplace Plaza, 4555 Herentaria Street, Unit C11. To learn more about Dr. Santiago and the Family Dentistry Canada, visit them online with their new website, thefamilydentistry.ca. For a TLC way of treatment, call 416-967-9272 or 905-272-3455. Dr. V. Santiago and Associates Family Dentistry.
Kahit anong ginagawa ninyo, makinig muna sa masayang tropa ng Talakayan.
PinoyRadio.com. What does it take to realize your dreams? To get you there, a vision and positive steps. The same goes to your financial future. At World Financial Group, we help middle-income families identify their dreams. It's never too early to start working towards your dreams. So I suggest you call Agnes Miranda today. Telephone number 416-702-9693. To secure your family's future, think of World Financial Group.
Ako po si May Cabrias na bumabati na isang magandang umaga sa mga nakikinig sa amin sa kasalukuyan. Ihanda na po ang balak gawin sa umagang ito. Huwag bibitew, manatiling nakatutok sa Talakayan Radio Filipino. Ano nga ba ang Happy Thanksgiving sa Filipino? How do you say Happy Thanksgiving? Maligayang pagsasalamat.
Pasasalamat.
Oh, yes. Okay, so
that's the literal translation.
Maligayang pasasalamat sa lahat ng mga nakikinig sa amin. So, Bobby.
Happy Thanksgiving din. Ito po si Bobby Atchacon, ang inyong IT coordinator dito sa Talakayan, na bumabati ng magandang umaga dito sa Toronto. Saka magandang gabi naman po yung nakikinig sa amin sa Pilipinas.
At ako po naman si Nelson Galvez, event coordinator na bumabati ng magandang umaga sa mga taga-Toronto. At magandang gabi naman po nasa Pilipinas.
Alam mo ngayon, we are so privileged and very honored to have with us a special guest. She's a resident of Toronto and lifetime advocate of women issues and visible minority rights. She's currently the Justice of the Peace at the Ontario Court of Justice, former Immigration and Refugee Board Judge, former first chairperson, Women's Committee in Canadian Ethno-Cultural Council, former president of the UP Alumni Association, and many, many, many more. Talaga hong we are so proud and privileged, as I said, to have with us none other than, I would say, Justice of the Peace, Mila Eustaquio. Good morning, Mila.
May, good morning. Pero ano na ako, Eustaquio Syme.
Syme. Oh, okay. Eustaquio Syme. I'm sorry. Yeah, so
Kasi nakikinig ang asawa ko.
ganon.
At sabihin niya, hindi mo na naman sinabi yung sign.
Alam mo, Mila, we've gone back a long,
I
long way,
know.
more than 30
Nung
years.
Eustachio pa ako.
Mila Eustachio pa rin. I'm so used to Mila Eustachio. So I'm sorry, Mr. Syme. Okay. So Mila, tell me about your current job now. Mm-mm.
Right now, I am a Justice of the Peace in the province of Ontario. And the Justice of the Peace, alam mo, akala ng mga ibang mga tao, ang ginagawa namin ay nagkakasal kami. Because that's what normally they do in the United States. But actually, in the 12 years that I've been a Justice of the Peace, isa lamang ang nakasal ko. Dahil they just wanted to get married to be able to get the papers. Pero really, that's one of the extracurricular activities that we do. But as a Justice of the Peace, we preside on all bail hearings. So, tapos kami rin ang nag-i-issue ng mga arrest warrants, nag-i-issue ng mga child apprehension warrants, and other documents that search warrants. We are also the ones that issue that, and also we issue peace bonds, and most criminal processes we do that, and we also preside in provincial offenses court, and in these courts we decide on the guilt or innocence of a defendant on majority of provincial regulatory offenses, namely offenses against the Highway Traffic Act, kayong mga nag-i-speeding dyan, the Fisheries Act, the Environment Act, and municipal bylaw prosecutions. Yung mga hindi nagko-comply sa mga municipal bylaws.
I see. Nako,
So marami kaming mga jurisdiction.
very interesting. So, umuupo ka sa court.
Of course.
Na nakikita mo yung mga nininervyos.
Nakikita ko yung mga nininervyos. That's
Oo,
right.
isa na ako doon.
Bakit?
Speeding.
Ganun ba?
Oo, speeding. Yun, ako talagang nininervyos ako pag ganoon. Kasi hindi ka naman sanay, na pero palagi kasi sinasabi ni Jess, ilaban mo. Ganyan. Kasi when you go to court daw, bumababa ang fine. Totoo ba yon? Is it,
Well,
Ano?
actually, hindi bumababa ang fine, but you usually make a deal with the prosecution.
oh, I see.
Okay.
Okay.
And the prosecution in an interest of having justice proceed in a fast way, they say if you plead guilty, we would reduce the offense to a certain lower offense. So because it's a lower offense, the ang fine mas lower.
I see.
So
Oo.
kunyari, you're speeding off over 50, they make it over 15. Dahil pag 15 over, wala kang points, ano?
Oo.
And magbabayad ka pero mas mababa.
I see. Oo. Kaya palagi sinasabi ni Jess, sige, pumunta ka kasi makipag-deal ka. And so lately, yon talagang nagpupunta ako. Pero hindi pa rin ako professional sa ganyan, ninenervyos pa rin ako.
Of course,
So, yeah.
lahat ng mga tao nervous.
So
Kasi it's
I'm
still the court.
Oo. I'm pretty sure meron kang mga excitement sa court, right? Na mga na you've come across some really interesting cases. So, how do you feel about that?
Well, I feel privileged that I have seen some of the exciting cases, and you know what? I was just asked this the other time when I was in one of the occasions. I was asked to speak about the Filipinos in Ontario, and I believe that we are the third largest visible minority immigrants. The first being the blacks, of course, the second being the Indians, and we're the third. Okay? immigrants, no? And even in spite of the fact that we're the third biggest immigrant population, when I go to court, the percentage of Filipinos there are much, much smaller. And I am proud of it. Yung pag nakakita pa nga ako ng isang Filipino dyan sa court, hiyang-hiya pang tumingin sa akin. But that's how proud I am of our heritage. Na we are really nahihiya sa ating mga ginagawa kung nagkakasala tayo. But in spite of the fact nga na we are the third largest visible minority group, ang konti-konti. In fact, I was even telling this to a police officer who is a Filipino. And he said, you know what? I've also, and me and my wife have also discussed this. And I said, I guess because we feel that we're privileged being here, and we want to keep and stay on the right side of the law. So we want really to avoid, being in the front pages of the newspapers.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Except being a girlfriend of somebody else.
Oo nga, no?
You cannot avoid that.
Well, at least it's putting the Philippines in the spotlight, no? Kahit na not in a favorable way, pero at least nalalaman ng mga tao there's such an island or there's such a country as the Philippines.
Can I say something about
Sure,
that?
yeah.
I just received a Viber from my sister in the Philippines. Some kind of joke. May naglilinya raw ng mga nagpipila-pila ng mga sa United States. They're making pila. And then isa doon Pilipina. Sabi ng isang puting Amerikano, "Uy, Pilipina ka." Sabi ng "Oo, bakit?" "Uy, kayo yung asawa nung pumatay sa Las Vegas." Sabi naman ng Pilipina, "Puti ka, ikaw yung pumatay." Kayo yung pumatay. Which I thought was a very good answer.
No, it's true. Oh, nakita ko yung resume mo. You were also yung previous job mo is a board member, immigration judge. Immigration and Refugee Board. Okay, tell us about that job. Siguro alam mo ngayon dahil ang daming refugees dito ngayon sa atin, ano? So paano nila nalalaman who's eligible for being a refugee dito sa ano? Ano ang criteria?
Well, the United Nations set up the definition of a refugee. One, a person who has a well-founded fear of persecution in his home country and for some reason could not be able to get safety in that home country. So they flee to another country in order not to be persecuted. Alam mo, yung mga taong, for example, in some countries right now, I believe in the Middle East, yung mga Kristiyano, pinapatay because they're Christians. So, may criteria yan. You're persecuted because of your religion, your race, or your ethnicity, your language, or even your womanhood, or your sexual orientation.
Nako. So, I think there's a lot of exciting things also that you've come across dun sa being a refugee board judge, right?
In fact, right before I was appointed as a Justice of the Peace, one of my last cases as an Immigration and Refugee Board was a Mexican who claims to be gay and therefore subject to persecution. And because the gay community in Mexico is a very vibrant community. In fact, gay pride parade started in Mexico. So I said, in Mexico City, okay, I think he was from another place, not just Mexico, not in Mexico City, but in Guadalajara. the refugee law states that before you go to another country to seek protection, you must find a place in your own country where you could be protected. And I thought that Mexico City is a place where he could be protected. So I also said, because he did not look gay. You know, he was so macho looking. I said, you would, you know, even in Guadalajara or even in Mexico, you know, you would, para bang si Rock Hudson na hindi mo talaga alam na gay. You could be protected in Mexico City. So, it made headlines on the Globe and Mail. Dahil I denied him because of that protection that's available in his home country.
I see. Yeah. So, meron bang ang Philippines hindi they won't qualify as a refugee here, mga Filipinos, would
No,
they?
I'm not very sure. Because of course, it's been 12 years since I was in the Immigration and Refugee Board, and therefore I was not really familiar. Pero may mga Filipinos, for example, if you are the wife of someone who's very powerful and you're subjected to domestic violence, and you cannot find any place that your husband cannot find you, and therefore get you and get you back and continue to prosecute you, persecute you rather than prosecute, and persecute you,
You could still apply for refugee status.
Apply,
oh, okay. Wow, that's nice to know.
Maraming mga ano yan, maraming mga criteria.
I see. Oo, hindi lang yung sinabi mo kanina na religion and all this, basta there is some kind of persecution.
Persecution.
I see. Oo.
Tsaka it should be a well-founded fear.
Oh, okay. Okay. Meron ba kayong itatanong? Kayong alam ko nakikinig itong
magandang tanong, it's very interesting, no? Actually, first of all, I always had the impression that the justice of the peace is ang kanyang main function is to officiate marriage.
Ay nako.
I grew up like that. Yan nga, buti nga kinlarify niya kagad eh.
American ano yung system yan eh.
Sabi ko, buti na i-clarify niya kagad, no? So the functions of the justice of the peace is not only that, right? It's one portion is that, right? Tapos yung sa refugee word, no? I didn't know that the persecution of an individual in their home country has so many definitions. Akala ko ano lang yung binubugbog lang, or probably hindi, yung binubugbog pa maari yun yung pala with dealing with also the parang yung family or husband ganon or wife ganon is also one portion, kasi kung powerful nga yung yung asawa mo, no, there are a lot of prominent figures right now in the Philippines na yung mga asawa has reason to seek refuge or seek refuge in another country.
Yeah. So, babalikan natin si Mila, pero ngayon, patalastas muna. Mila, may tatanong pala ako sa iyo. Ano ang requirements to become a justice of the peace?
To become a justice of the peace, they require you at least to have a university degree. Okay. Again, this is a big difference between the justice of the peace here and the justice of the peace in other places. You do not have to be a lawyer to become a justice of the peace. You must at least be able to understand the law and the basics of what it is that is required to be able to make decisions. Okay. Again, a university degree, experience in making decisions. For example, in my case, I was for 10 years in the Immigration and Refugee Board, so I make decisions. And being able to speak and write uh, in an articulate way, so that the people that are reading your decision would know where you're coming from, would know the basis of your decision. And we have a variety of justices of the peace in Ontario. Some are social workers. A lot of us are judges, are lawyers. Some of us are even nurses, doctors, and teachers. A lot of former principals are justices of the peace now. A lot of varied professions are justices of the peace in Ontario.
I see.
But as long as you're capable and you can assess facts and make decisions.
Oh, okay. Alam mo talaga, akala ko, my impression of the justices, the judges, and all that, you have to have a law degree. That's what I thought.
Sa states, oo.
Ah, sa States. Pero dito, hindi.
Sa United Kingdom at saka dito hindi.
Oh. Pero sa United Kingdom, kailangan naka-wig ka, di ba?
Oo, tradition nila yun.
I have a personal question. Do you have any political ambitions
No.
to get into politics?
I've already reached my ambition, which is to be a justice.
I see. Okay. So, okay na? So, anyway, may tatanong ka pa rin ba? Because I want to move on to her other activities, current activities.
Yeah,
Do
you
have
can move
another
on to the next
Oh,
activity.
okay. No, I just want to know if nakikita ko dito kasi marami kang involvement sa Filipino community.
And
So-
of course, this was before I became a judge.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
kasi one of the requirements that they ask you to do is to cease and desist your involvement in other
In
communities.
any ethnic, I guess, kung you're one of the belong to an ethnic group, I guess,
Exactly.
para makita nila yung fairness.
Oo.
That's understandable. Oo.
In fact, I even had to get a special permission to continue to become a member of UPAA.
Oh.
Yeah,
Hindi mo talaga maiwanan ng UPAA, ah.
Sabi nila, okay, we give you permission, but don't become an officer.
I see. Alam mo, nakikita ko dito yung resume mo, very, very impressive. Pero, wala kang nilagay dito na dancer.
Extracurricular yun. Well, the reason May is saying that was because years ago,
Long
ago,
time, more than 30 years ago.
we were part of a dance group.
Yeah. I still remember that tayo nila Ruby, remember? Si Ruby, si Mayet. Yeah. So anyway, it's so nice na meron tayong Filipino na who is in this level sa Justice of the Peace. Do you know any other Filipinos who are in this, doing this job, Justice of the Peace, dito sa...
Si Romy Manangkil was the Justice of the Peace. Nag-retire na nga lang siya.
Oh.
Si Delano, Del, nakalimutan ko yung apelyido mo. Delano,
another Filipino. Dito rin, sa Toronto?
Sa Toronto sila.
Ah.
Tsaka si,
Teka muna, merong isa na I always see him around. Castelvi.
oh, hindi siya. He's not
He's not a
judge.
Justice of the
He
Peace.
he was appointed, and for about 2 years, he was an immigration and refugee board judge.
Okay.
But
not
no.
the justice
not the
level.
justice,
I see.
no.
Oo. Oh, that's
Delano Europa.
oh.
Ako, Del.
So-
Ako,
Yeah.
baka makita ko siya. Sabihin niya, nakalimutan mo pangalan ko.
So how long is the term of being a justice of the peace?
It's for as long as you are not doing anything that is against the law, that shows that you cannot make decisions anymore, But really, it's like a judge.
Mhm.
You are a judge for life
Mhm.
until you reach the age 75, which is the mandatory retirement.
Retirement.
Oo.
Oh, pero ikaw lang ang Filipina. Ikaw lang ang babae na alam ko Justice
Meron
of the
pang
Peace.
isa
Dito rin sa Toronto?
sa Toronto rin.
Really?
But she is very, very low-key. In fact, hindi siya nag-attend ng mga...
Oh. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
the
that's
name
fine.
just
That's fine.
escapes
Oo.
me.
Kasi, alam mo, ngayon ko lang nalaman na si Romy
Manangkil.
Manangkil
Yeah.
is Justice of the Peace. I didn't know that.
He was.
I
Yeah.
only know him as
At an artist.
an artist. Yeah.
Okay. Hindi si Romy Manangkil. Manangkil din ang apelyido.
Oh.
Si yun baka yung isa, yung,
Sino?
si Judge
meron.
Manangkil.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think he's retired now.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
I see
Sorry,
him.
Romy, pero ginawa kitang justice.
Yeah.
No,
Na-promote siya.
Yeah. I know.
Hindi Romy ang pangalan niya.
Kasi nakikita ko kuminsan the leisure sa mga mall. Ngayon, he's retired already.
Yes,
Oh, I
yes,
see.
yes.
Oo.
Justice Manangkil.
Yes.
Ayan, Nelson, meron ka ng kilalang Justice of the Peace. Pwede ka
Ha?
naman pakasal, ha? Tatawagan mo na si Mila para...
Repeat offender again?
Nako. So, 12 years ka na dito, no? Sa job na ito, no? Ngayon, sinabi mo kanina na the least number na you've come across mga Filipinos.
Visible minority.
Visible minority. Ano ang pinakamalaki if you don't...
No,
you
don't
can't
think
say
I
that.
I
Okay.
don't think it's
Yeah.
appropriate
Okay.
for me to
Okay.
say.
No, that's
Sino yung
understandable.
pinakamalaki.
So,
Pero I'm sure malalaman mo rin.
Pero,
so how is your schedule during the day? Being a justice of the peace, do you report to a certain court every day?
Yes, depends on where you're
Yeah.
scheduled, no?
Mhm.
If you're in criminal court to do bail, criminal court starts at 9:30.
Mhm.
So you have to be there before 9:30, and it goes until the last bail court is finished. And if you're in a provincial offenses court, it starts at 9 o'clock,
Mhm.
and you're there until 5 o'clock.
Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be reporting in a specific location every day. So
No,
if
we get assigned to
you get the
different places.
assignments.
Oo.
So in your week, kung minsan nandito ka sa, sabi mo sa Toronto, then probably another city in
Actually, nung umpisa, nung kukonti pa kami, na-assign din ako sa Toronto, na-assign ako sa as far as Niagara Falls.
Mhm.
Pero nung dumadami na kami ngayon, I am just confined, kasi marami rin cases ngayon ng PIL, no? I'm confined to Mississauga, Brampton, Caledon, and Orangeville.
Mhm.
Dahil within that area alone, ang dami ng mga cases. So, that keeps me already busy.
Do you get to review the cases beforehand? Say, for example, a week before you already have the case with you, or is it just at random that, say, for example, on a Wednesday, you will be presiding on this case, so you get the information probably on a Wednesday morning or the Tuesday day before?
When I was in the Immigration and Refugee Board, you get the cases before. But in my current job as a Justice of the Peace, you only get the facts on the day itself, in fact on the time itself, because the prosecutor tells you what are the allegations,
Mhm.
why is this person in bail, and what exactly was it that he or she did.
But isn't that so short a time for you to review the information that you are unable to research further?
Well, if you need time, usually when they give you what the allegations are, they also give you the criminal record of the
Mhm.
person. And usually, if you need time, which in a lot of cases is the minority, you say that I'm reserving my decision, and I would like to make my decision maybe tomorrow or the day after.
But restricted to about 72 hours to put in a decision, or no?
No, there's no
There's no.
But there's a case right now which is called Regina versus Jordan, which requires judges and justices of the peace to make decisions as early as possible.
So do you would you say, for example, you've been given an assignment, right? Can you call on other colleagues to help you out to make a decision, to review the case?
Well, you can discuss the case with a colleague, especially with somebody who has had experience in that particular case. And a lot of judges do that among themselves, and justices also do that among themselves. And if we have to, there was one case that I went and talked to a judge. This is the Ontario Court of Justice judge, and discuss a case with him, and then he would give you advice, and he would also be able to give you some case law. And in our office, we also have a law division, lawyers that will be able to tell you what are the latest case law on a particular case that you have.
Because what I understand from court hearings or the decisions of judges, right, is that they normally would be citing some previous decisions. Yes, to concur with their decision.
Yeah, yun ang tinatawag kong case law. Oo. That's what they do. They cite, and they cite the particular act and the particular case law that have been rendered by other justices or judges.
Mila, you mentioned about yung bail, no? How do you determine how much bail would you impose on somebody?
Well, the first thing to do is whether to grant bail or not.
Okay.
And there are 3 criterias. The criminal code has 3 criterias. Number 1, which is called the primary ground, whether or not the person will show up in court for his hearing. Okay, it's some of them, particularly kung immigrant ka, nawawala ka na lang. You just go home, you know? Lalo na kung guilty ka, no? Hindi ka na sisipot. So that's the primary ground. Secondary ground is whether you will reoffend, kung gagawin uli yun. Kunyari, yung domestic violence nga, kung hindi mo bibigyan ng bail ito, yung bang victim mabi-victimize uli, you know, or another victim could be victimized, you know? That's a secondary ground. And there's a tertiary ground, whether the granting of bail or the non-granting of bail would be considered by the public to be an affront to the judicial process. Okay? And so those are the criteria that we are guided by for granting bail. Now, for the number of bail kasi is not like a sentence. Bail, you are in bail, which means you are in a temporary custody until you either plead guilty or you're found guilty, or it's no longer bail, it's a conviction. You plead guilty, you're not guilty, so you're released, or the prosecution decides to drop the case. So we don't give we don't give the time for bail. We just say you are to stay in bail until the matter is dealt with according to law, which either he's acquitted or he's convicted or the case is dropped.
Now, in a case of an immigrant, hindi ba pwedeng you just take his passport para hindi siya makatravel?
In fact, that's one of the first things that is done.
Okay.
If a person is an immigrant and has no status here, they take his, not just not just his passport, but any identity document. And one of the things that a justice of the peace would do is to impose, when he is granted bail, that he is not to apply for any travel document, which means passports, identity documents that would allow him to travel, because they had his documents have been seized, so he should not be applying anymore.
So the driver's license is also one document that you can probably use when you travel, right?
Yes.
So that driver's license will be recalled?
Yes.
Okay.
O, sige. Ngayon, hanap buhay muna. Mga patalastas muna po.
Kumusta kabayan? Ito si Rafael Nebres, General Manager ng Action Honda. Para makatipid, mapabilis, pagbili ng Honda sasakyan, kami laging may paraan. Laging may sales events at promotion, tama sa iyong kakayahan. Please call us at 416-281-1234, 416-281-1234. Bibili ka o hindi, it's always my pleasure to talk to a kababayan. Mabuhay!
Hello po! Ito si Belita Corrales. Kumusta na kayong lahat? Sa yumak na magsama-sama, ipadala ang ating cargo. Serbisyo ay hindi nagbago. Ang yumak ay totoo. Saan pa man ang iyong pamilya, ang yumak ay mayroong serbisyo, kahon ninyo'y walang peligro. Darating, maayos at magaling.
Kayo nakikinig sa Talakayan.
PinoyRadio.com.
Babasahin ko ho ang mga pananaw ni Mr. Tony San Juan. Si Tony ho ngayon ay nag-excuse me kasi, sorry guys, I'm attending an Outstanding Canadians Awards event today. So, ito ho ang kanyang mga pananaw. According to the latest social weather station survey, 9 out of 10 Filipinos believe that drug personalities or suspects should be captured alive, not killed, unless nanlaban, which more than 50% of Filipinos believed that was not true. So, ano ho, ang comment ho niya is, do you agree or disagree? So, ang sunod hong news niya is President Duterte, according to his critics, might be attempting to justify silencing dissent with his claim of a conspiracy between the yellows, liberals, and the reds, communists. But the Communist Party of the Philippines said there is no red and yellow conspiracy. Totoo kaya ito o hindi? President Duterte appointed a newly retired Philippine Army Chief, Lieutenant General Glorioso Miranda, as a member of BCDA, Bases Conversion Development Authority. And Armed Forces Chief Eduardo Ano hailed the USA as the #1 ally of the country and announced recently a return of regular war games, following President Duterte's call for warmer ties again with the USA. Now, Senator Antonio Trillanes denied romantic links with former Anti-Money Laundering Council Executive Director Julia Bacay Abad, as claimed by President Duterte. It's another made-up story, said Trillanes. In a war of words, President Duterte hit back at Senator Trillanes that he is half a man, a womanizer. Trillanes believes that President Duterte has descended to the gutter and delivered a low blow. Ako, nakakatuwa ang Philippine politics, ano? Biro mo, ang kanilang mga panglaban-laban eh. Yung mga womanizer. Wow! Ano yan, reflection yan ng Filipino life, di ba? Sa ating kasi parang pinagmamalaki pa nila pag nagiging womanizer ka, pag meron kang mistress. So anyway, about music na kaagad, Bobby?
Music tayo.
Music ba?
Andito na po tayo sa Bits and Issues, October 7 na yun? Okay, Raids at Aristocrat is opening soon. Or call for your order of their adobo, menudo, goat caldereta, chicken and pork lechon, and many more. Call 416-829-6595 or go to aristocrat2go@gmail.com for your order. Remember, Aristocrat is with a K.
Tickets are still on sale for the Markham Federation of Filipino Canadians presentation of A Taste of Broadway featuring musical talents Alvin Alba, Michelangelo Masangkay, Jason Nunez, Jasmine Ragual, Candy Santos, and our very own Karen Tan, with special guests Jay Davis and Markham Mayor Frank Scarpetti. The show is on for 2 nights only at the Flato Markham Theater, and it is tonight and tomorrow at 7 p.m. Tickets can be purchased by calling the theater box at 905-305-7469 or Esther Toribio at 647-556-0462.
The Philippine Consulate General in Toronto will be holding its consular outreach mission in St. Catharines on Saturday, October 14 from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Club Roma, 125 Basical Road Street, that's in St. Catherine. They will be offering services similar to what is offered in the Toronto Consular Office.
Luz B. Minda, the Philippines Dances for Canada 150 will be presented on October 26 and 27 at 7:30 p.m. on October 28 at 1:30 p.m. at the Sandra Fair and Ivan Fican Theater, Accolade East Building, York University on Kill Street. This is produced by the York University Department of Dance and will feature our local Filipino dance troupes and entertainers. Tickets are $15 per person and 10 for seniors and students. Call 416-736-5588 for event details. Okay.
Meron ka pang idadagdag, Nelson?
Yes, the Winter Escapade 5, sponsored by the Philippine Consulate, will be on February 3 to 11. You can register at Winter Escapade at /tours.com.ph.
Nako, tingnan mo, ang lapit na natin sa magpapaalam. So, meron akong question sa iyo, Mila. Ano ang mas ma-advise mo sa mga youth ngayon? Kasi, alam mo, marami tayong mga Filipinos who are in university and who are just starting their career. If they have an ambition of getting into the court environment, ano ang maa-advise mo sa kanila? What should they be dwelling on or what should they specialize to become a future justice of the peace?
Well, they could either take law.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of justices of the peace are lawyers, or they could work in the court system, where they get familiarized with the terms, with the processes, and work their way up. And if they show, and of course, while they're working their way up, they should try to get some courses on the law and familiarize themselves with what's happening in the law. In a particular case, for example, if they want to be a justice of the peace, in bail, in bail court, or in provincial offenses court, they could do that. We have a lot of justices of the peace who were formerly managers of the court system. So it's really not just lawyers, not just former judges, but people that have also risen in the court system and done well. Of course, there's also in some universities, like in Ryerson, they have a course for the law. It doesn't necessarily mean that you take up law, but they also have the legal system in Canada. That's also a course that they could, if they want to familiarize themselves that they could take some of the courses. But you have to, there are quite a few areas that the people that are in the human resources, they look at different disciplines, because to be able to understand different situations, it's nice to have disciplines. You know, you could have a nursing discipline or a teacher's discipline. As long as you do well in a particular profession that you have chosen, you could always try. In fact, if you really are interested, go to the website for the Justice of the Peace application. It's Ontario Court of Justice, and look at the how to become just Google how to become a Justice of the Peace, qualifications and all that.
Wow. Alam mo kasi ang para sa akin personally, ang emphasis ko ngayon, I see a lot of young Filipinos, young kids who are really aiming to move up. Pero ang problema ngayon is there's not that many jobs available for them. Kaya minsan nakaka-discourage. Nakikita ko, marami ako nakakausap ng mga bata na they're encouraged na, oh, I took up engineering but I couldn't find a job, 2 years na ako naghahanap. Yung mga ganun ba? So, it's very inspiring to hear you talk about being a justice of the peace. Pag may nakikita akong ganyan na successful person, alam mo, it will also inspire the young people to aim for something like what you are now. Kaya, we're so privileged, Mila, you know, to have you. I'm so happy to see you again, you may personally. And, you know, and what is your parting words? Kasi malapit na rin tayong mag-end. So,
May, it was just as, I'm just as happy to see you after, I would say, what, 27 years?
yeah.
Oh my God.
Tagal.
Ang isang taong 27 years, malaki na by
Oh,
this
yeah,
time.
totoo.
Anyway, May, hindi ka nagbabago. At I'm also happy to see old friends and meet new friends.
Thank you.
And I'm glad to see that we have a very good and people that we could be proud of, members of the Filipino community. By the way, I'm surprised you didn't know about this. On October 27, which is about 2 weeks from now, an organization in the United States called Filipino Women's Network is having their Filipino Women's Summit here in Toronto, and I was one of the awardees that they will be given for women of influence, Filipino women of influence.
Wow.
It's,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It will be at the Intercon, and a lot of people from all over the world will be here. I saw the list of previous awardees, and I'm really honored to be in their company. Some of them were the Filipino women who are now admirals in the U.S. Navy. Some is a Filipino woman who is also a judge in California. Some of them are members of council in their own, usually in the States. Yes. So when I showed the award to my judge that looks over Justices of the Peace, he says, "My goodness, congratulations, and you are in very good company. Impressive company," she told me.
Wow. Ayan, see? More na mai-inspire ang mga tao, you know, just looking up the At you talagang, kung meron mang mga nakikinig dyan, ng mga bata, ayan ho, Miss Mila Eustachio Symes. Ayan ho, she is a hard act to follow. That's what I can say. Pero you can always aim high. So ngayon ho, magpapaalam na ho kami.
Salamat.
Ako ho si May at nagpapasalamat ho sa pakikinig ninyo sa amin ngayong araw na ito. And Bobby?
Ito rin po si Bobby sa susunod uling Sabado, the same oras, 10 to 11 ng Sabado. Magkita-kita po tayo.
Yes, ang Toronto Syndicated Network ay nagpapasalamat sa mga nakilig at nakikinig sa amin for the past 13 years. Kayo pong nagsilbing inspirasyon ng Talakayan Radio Pilipino. At hanggang sa susunod na Sabado, kami po ay namamaalam na ano man ang ibig niyong talakayin natin sa Sabado o may ibang ibig ninyong balikatin, tumawag lang po kayo sa 416-441-2887 o mag-email sa jcabri2887@rogers.com. Salamat at magandang umaga.
Happy Thanksgiving ho sa lahat.
Happy Thanksgiving din po.
Same ho.
Thank you for listening to Talakayan.
The hours fade, the moments fly, and time never stands still. We now look into the pool of memories and pause a while in pious meditation to think of the things we did and did not do, but should have done, and hope that in tomorrow we shall improve upon today. Good day, pleasant weekend, Diyos mabulos sa indong gabos.
Inyong natungayan ang isa na namang pagtatanghal ng programang Talakayan, Radyo Pilipino. Hanggang sa susunod na Sabado para sa mga usaping napapanahon at mga ulat na dapat bigyan ng tuon. Talakayan, Radyo Pilipino.